people often ask me, what's the best visa? And the question is going to be, how can I determine which visa is best for me? And I get asked that a lot. Like, Jim, can I immigrate to the U.S.? Can I get a visa? Do I do a business? And really, the answer is always going to be you need to talk to someone, an immigration attorney, someone like Joaquin, who can go through a whole gambit of questions and then cross them off. Because there's what is there, 30 different types of U.S. visas, and you may qualify for some
Yeah.
obscure visa that I never even heard of, that an immigration attorney would hear of. So there's a lot of specialists in the immigration field, which are amazing. The people that only
Yeah.
do E2 visas. But I think a great value of Joaquin, which he undersells, and other like attorneys that have experience with a number of different kinds of visas, is being able to kind of better identify your opportunities and your options so that you can kind of narrow it down to what best fits your scenario. And I don't know, you can comment on that for a second if you
No,
have.
yeah, absolutely. Well, look, like you said, like it really comes down to analyzing what is the purpose, what are the intentions of the applicant, what do you want to do? You want to move here and live here with your family for the rest of your life? Do you want to be here temporarily? And temporarily could be a couple of years. E2 visa, depending on the country, can give you up to 5 years, and then you can renew it as many times as you like. So essentially, what is it that you want to do? Because obviously, and this is where you come in as well, right? If we're having a conversation with a potential client, they have to take into consideration all the things like, if you become a resident of the United States, guess what? You're going to get taxed on your whole worldwide income,
Yeah.
So it really depends on what they want to do. If their intention for sure is to move here, permanently, then there's certain obviously visas that we discuss. If it's temporarily, there's other visas that we would discuss. But we have to go through the profile of the person and see, okay, which route can we take? Do you have any family members in here? Typically, I always tell people there's about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 major avenues, and each avenue to come to the United States. And each avenue, there's a bunch of visas, right? So there's different ways to do it, right? Family way, right, where you have family members in here. That's one route. Obviously, not too many people have that ability to have people who can petition for them. That's one way. Then we have the employment way, right? And the employment way is basically what we were talking about. Say the EB3. It doesn't even have to be the EB3. It could be also be, say, an H-1B visa, which is a temporary visa. It could also be um, employment based for the people with higher qualifications, that where you need at least say a master's degree or something like that, or a license, and then you would fit them in an EB2, but it will be under an employer, so you have to go through a labor certification. So that's on the work side, right? On the employer side. So we've said family side, employer side. Then the third one to me is basically the investment route, right? You have a temporary investment visa that we can definitely talk in much more detail, some other time or whenever. That allows you, like I said, to be here. Typically, it's 5 years. You can renew it as many times as you like, but you're not going to be a resident of the United States, right? You can pivot from that point on and apply later on, right, to a residency, right?
Yeah.
So that's a way to do it. Within the investment world, there's also the EB5, which does give you a residency, right, directly. And there's two ways to do it within the EB5. There's two programs. One program is where it's basically direct investment. You have to invest $1,050,000, right? But the requirements in general, obviously, there's a bunch of stuff, is that you are going to utilize that money to at least employ 10 new American workers, right? And then you can do it in whichever business that you like. Obviously, there's implications in terms of the source of funds, where it's coming, but all that is obviously the attorney's job. Now, within the EB5, there's another very popular um, visa, right? That's the EB5 as well, but it's called basically the regional center visa. So what that means is that across the United States, there are regional centers, right, that have been approved, right, and given the thumbs up by the United States government to do projects in areas where there's high unemployment, okay,
Yeah.
economically depressed areas. So essentially, what they do is that they create a fund, right? And they say we're going to have a project here and whatever. This neighborhood underdeveloped, you know, economically speaking, it's not great and all that. And they'll have a multi-million dollar fund, and those funds are utilized to create these projects and these jobs, right? Are piled together and funded with the money of the people who want to do the EB-5. But this is the thing: you do not have any control whatsoever of what happens with those funds. Okay,
Okay.
obviously they have a duty, and sort of a guarantee that they're going to try to, give you your money back. You're not going to be making much money. It's an average of
Well,
potentially
I've seen the
2%.
returns. Yeah, you lose a little bit,
It's
but as
like
long as
2% return,
it's a win if you get your money back, right? Because a lot of people
yeah, it's,
can lose
if you
money,
if you
right?
get your money back, but I mean, I don't want people to understand. I was like, oh, I'm going to invest all this money and then I'm going to lose it. No, but like, remember, this is an avenue and a tool that you're utilizing to get a residency.
Well, you
You might
could
make
lose your money
you
if you
might
don't
make a little
invest it.
money, you might lose a little bit of money,
But
you
you could
know.
lose it all if the project completely flops. That's why it's important to pick
Yeah,
the
but
right regional center, right?
yeah, that is true. But at the same time, they're very scrutinized, these regional centers, and they have to.
Clip of the U.S. Immigration Foundation live stream. We go live every Monday and we are answering all of your questions. If you have a specific immigration question or tax question, international tax, show up on Monday or just post the comment here. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow the channel if you have other questions about immigration or moving to the US. And we want to just help you out. So thank you for being here. Like, subscribe, follow, and we'll see you on Monday.